Let's play some chess. Just got off work. It's 1 o'clock. Let's talk about UFOs. Today is Star Trek Appreciation Day, apparently, or First Contact Day. And more to the point about First Contact Day, there was a trove of data that was released from the sun. Now, I have been told by people much wiser than myself and much more observant than myself that when I talk about UFOs, I am a younger man. And I guess that's the energy or whatever that I feel when I'm talking about this. It's such an expansive topic. You're getting into all sorts of weird physics or weird science. But on top of that, it hits that part of the imagination of what else is there? Meaning, what is of this larger reality? Because by definition, if there is something that has the capacity to get here, if there was something that was already here, if it was something that is under some level of intelligent control, then there is something else that we are unaware of that it is aware of. I hope you understand what I mean. It's almost like, by definition, it has to be something else. And it's just phenomenal stuff. When I was in the Vatican, my ex-wife, or ex, when we were in Rome, we ended up in the Vatican just randomly. It wasn't even intentional. We were just walking. Oh, hey, there's the Vatican. Let's go to that. And as we get there, we see the Pope. And I am not a religious person in the sense, yes, I get into New Agey stuff in the sense of like, proving the existence of spirit guides or OBEs and stuff. Love that stuff. That stuff to me hints at a larger reality. But more to the point, being there at the Vatican, all of these people turn on a dime and start staring at the Pope. And it is a heady feeling to be in a crowd that does something like that. It's hard to explain. It's like Bernie Sanders. When Bernie Sanders was in, I think it was Temple University, that was my first time, my only time, in seeing Sanders do his thing live. And there is this kind of weird religious experience, at least with me anyway, where all of these people in the crowd have a very similar value set. And all of those people are motivated to expanding upon that in a real world environment. All of them are motivated. And this notion of, are you willing to give of yourself as if somebody was given, or vice versa, saying this thing. And all of those people would say emphatically, yes, better world, we can do it. Yeah, that's a heady feeling. That's kind of the way that stuff feels. When I think of UFOs, that's how it feels on some level. This notion that it's like man touching the divine, touching space or something. I can't place it. But in my head, I experience it as this kind of religious thing. Not in the sense of worship, not even in the sense of higher being stuff. No, more so in the sense of something else, some other intellect. Whether that intellect has better technology and everything else, it's almost irrelevant to the point. It's still just ultimately an intelligence. What is the culture like? What is the point of view like? What is the mentality like? What is the emotional state like? Because understand, whatever the physiology and everything else, it was in some level shape a point of view of whatever that thing is. So that gets heady, and like I said, that gets kind of way out there. But the stuff that was released from the Sun's paper go farther than that. Some of the most interesting things that we have to deal with the UFO stuff is, for one, why was the government lying? How was something invading your airspace for 100 years and you not be able to ascertain what it is, what it's doing there, how it's evading your airspace, how did it shut off the missiles? Meaning you're the Department of Defense. You get nearly $1 trillion a year. What do you mean something's invading your airspace? Let alone smearing the various pilots who would come out and basically say, if something is invading your airspace, isn't that somewhat of a big deal? And isn't that something, did you tell the president that? Did you get that across to Congress? Why would you ignore this particular phenomena for all of these years? And why would you keep it a secret? There's all sorts of questions. And honestly, what does this even mean for the world? Because if you're dealing with something like that, you're not dealing with it as individual nations. Your world is going to have to change just by the very definition of itself in order to kind of engage whatever that thing is that is external. Like all sorts of questions that get brought up. associated with this. And look, maybe this is one of those things where the Pentagon looked at it and said, that's too big. Meaning, it's not attacking us, it's not hitting us. And in their heads, okay, it's like a bird flying. It's a natural phenomena that we don't know what it is. We don't necessarily know what it does, but okay, fair enough. It's not doing anything to us. Fair enough. It's very possible they looked at it from that standpoint. We don't have the technology. We don't have the capability. We can't do anything about it. So it's better to just pretend it's not there. Now, no, that flies in the face of what their job is, but nevertheless, from their standpoint, too big. It's unclear how much the government knows on this, to be honest. And I would go so far as to say, even the narrative that we're getting from the people like Lou Elizondo is probably not a straight narrative of what's entirely true. I suspect it's like anything else. It's going to be managed in some way in order to not create fear, not to freak people out, not to create chaos. And keep in mind, anything that they put out, take out of that box, you can't put back into the box. And to the degree that they've gone currently, I don't know how you put that genie back into the box. Especially, ODNI report comes out and you have all of these branches of government sign on to a report and saying, the things in this report are true. Okay, fair enough. And the things that we're talking about are technology that has been in our airspace, that has been shutting off nuclear weapons, and we don't entirely know what it is, why it's there. It requires more research. We need to eliminate the stigma associated with it. It looks like technology. It's not from Russia. It's not from China. We're all of the alphabet soup agencies. That's our report. And people look at that and are like, fuck is this? It's like, how is this? It's a report that demands another report, basically. And it goes in line with what I was saying was going to take place. There is not going to be any individual that walks out and says, aliens are real. None of them would do it. All of them will imply it based on what they're saying. Because it is almost easier to believe that there are aliens or something is in our airspace as compared to believing that Russia and China has radically leapfrogged the United States in technology. And for that matter, the spy satellites and everything else. How are we unable to pick up the things that are in their inventories? I guess that's kind of the issue, right? It's either us or it's not. And by us, I mean one of the countries on the planet. And the U.S. is basically coming out and saying, hey, it's not us. And we don't believe it's China and Russia. Go back and listen to Mitt Romney's speech. When Mitt Romney was asked about this, Mitt Romney was like, it's not the Russians. It's not the Chinese. I'm not saying it's aliens. And it's like, dude, you've taken everything off that table. And I think that is the normal position that people are in, believe it or not. It's this acknowledgement, but not being able to deal with it because it's too big. Like the gravity of it, it's too expansive, it's too massive. And so it's, okay, fair enough. I've seen the videos. I get you say it's not Russia and China. I get you say it's not us. Fair enough. Now, you need to take the extra step. And they don't take the extra step. It's an acknowledgement of weirdness without necessarily engaging the gravity of that weirdness. There is a box, a mystery box that has been added to our reality. And people have just been kind of living their life with that box sitting there. And what I mean by that is for the government of the United States to come on and basically say, hey, you know those UFOs thing? Yeah, those are real. Those are real. No, we're not going to tell you anything about it, but we will tell you that they're real. All right, you've just added a magnificent mystery box to our reality. And it is unclear what reality is until you engage that box. And that's kind of the rub, right? We don't, at the very least, know. We're in the dark. And that's terrifying. Because the fact that we're in the dark means that whatever narrative, whatever story, whatever comes out from the standpoint of things that are given to us, we have no way to independently verify. Yeah, this could go extremely dark. And from my standpoint, look at the world leaders and the way that they engage, and the way that they act. I mean, hell, Ukraine, for example. I mean, we had the guy on today that was basically debating me about the Ukraine thing. And it's like, he's saying ludicrous stuff as if NATO is love and light. And it's like, hey, Europe tried to invite Russia in by expanding NATO 13 nations to get to the point where it's on their border, where they knock over a country, knock over Ukraine, and put in a puppet government. Even saying stuff like, oh, Zelensky is his own man. Are you insane? Are you insane? The guy is literally a puppet. And so, when you look at this kind of rapacious, zero-sum point of view of the world, where it's not living like this, meaning it's not, we're going to govern our affairs, we're going to deal with the issues of this country. It's not that. It's people with massively grandiose ideas, with even more grandiose egos, that from their standpoint and from their point of view, perfectly fine with knocking over a country. They're perfectly fine with 500,000 people dying in Syria because you wanted to start a civil war. They're perfectly fine with basically, at the end and the fall of the Soviet Union, to expand NATO to the point where you are looking at the remnants and trying to figure out, how do we take that also? How do we just win? Now, from the standpoint of the zero-sum view of the world, this kind of grand chessboard, if people look at the world like that, and European leaders, Western leaders, they do. I mean, even the Ukraine thing, like I said, you didn't have to expand to the border of Russia like that. You didn't have to knock over that government. You didn't have to do any of that stuff. That stuff was chosen because they wanted to basically, in their heads, win. The number of people that get killed, the number of people that get hurt in those coups, the type of fascist regimes that are often put in power in those coups because it's easier to deal with a dictator as opposed to dealing with, like a democracy. Yeah. What does it mean when people like that control the flow of information that's coming to you on something that is entirely and radically in the dark? And yeah, that is a dreadful question to ask. But that is what we're basically confronted with. I mean, look, the way the West has been reporting the news has been farcical. I'm sorry. It doesn't even make conceptual sense. One of my producers basically told me, he said, my family member thinks Russia is losing and that, that Putin is going to be deposed. And I said, Ukraine is offering concessions. In a military conflict, if I am pressing an advantage, I am not giving you shit, which is basically what Russia has offered Ukraine. Nothing. Ukraine is offering what? Non-military bases to be non-aligned, to not be part of NATO. Again, if it would have accepted even half of these things, this war wouldn't have been taking place in the first place. But nevertheless, this is where we are. I guess my point is, this level of propaganda that they're willing to impart, this level of, I don't know what you kind of call it, sociopathy in regards to not caring about the local populations that have been affected. I mean, even from the standpoint of what is taking place now and the way this stuff was provoked, look at what's taking place from the standpoint of inflation. And I got speeches where Joe Biden is like, we're doing great. Europe is about to be colder and poorer, quote unquote, from the New York Times for years as a result of these guys not being able to mind their own business. He even argued that the expansion of NATO was somehow beneficial to Russia. I'll tell you this. When the Soviet Union fell and Russia was given assurances, I believe that Baker, NATO won't expand an inch to the east. Why is he saying that? Why is he saying that? If NATO is such love and light, why on earth is Russia getting various assurances? Now, doesn't matter that they didn't write it down. There were multiple people who were basically giving these, not take advantage of the fact that you collapse. Of course, NATO expanded. And of course, with Boris Yeltsin, a drunkard, basically sold the farm, and all of these oligarchs that they talk about were basically created with this kind of shock capitalism that we impose on Russia. Now, in the election, in order to get Yeltsin to basically beat the communists who he was running against, the Time Life article makes that point. What is it called? The Yankees to the Rescue, I believe it's called. My point is that if it's true that NATO was love and light, why were assurances given that it wouldn't expand? My point is they fully understood that NATO was a hostile military organization that was there for the Soviet Union. It was pivoted as a power projection device of the US, basically led by the United States in Europe, and was looking at the remnants of the Soviet Union as a sphere of influence that it did not entirely control and wanted to exert control over that sphere of influence. That's what we're confronted with, and would impose a level of propaganda that I have never seen. Yes, I'm talking about Ukraine because that's the thing that's kind of on the forefront of my mind, but it still makes the point. It's these people that will be controlling the events of any disclosure, to whatever degree that disclosure takes place, and the narrative associated with that particular disclosure. And because you cannot independently identify anything that is basically being put, you are either stuck with the narrative to either believe it or not. And neither one of those things get you any closer to what's true. Yeah, I didn't mean to be morbid. I was going to say blaze one if you get one, but it is somewhat morbid. I mean, the shit that's going on in regards to this war. Not only did this war not have to take place, all of these guys behind the scenes accepted that Ukraine was not going to be part of NATO. And yet, Zelensky kept pushing it. And pushing it back by US, back by us. And now we're going to fight to the last dead Ukrainian in a proxy war against Russia, where we gave him all the money and all the weapons we can get our hands on so we can kill as many Russians as possible. And I strongly believe that on some level, this is even against China. This kind of separation of the world, where Europe and the United States are going to go their way, and then the rest of the world, 50-something%, is going to go the other. I don't know what this looks like. I think the United States is overplaying its hand. I think the dollar is going to be under assault. And many of those countries that we consider to be allies and everything else are pissed at us because we have accepted this idea of indispensability. That is an entire self-conception, and it is not one that is indicative of reality. And I think we're going to hit that reality with the things that these guys are doing and the consequences that we are going to feel as a result. And so, yeah, when I think of the UFO stuff, I have to think of it in that context because I do politics. I do geopolitics at that. And this notion of us dealing with something. Do I believe that the people are going to be to the highest and to the betterment of their angels? Why would they be that way? They may be that way first year, but at some point when that stuff becomes common, are they going to start seeking advantage? Does Earth grow up when it has to deal with this particular issue? And Star Trek didn't grow up. They had like a third world war and all sorts of stuff. I guess my thought is, what does this add? What is that mystery box? What is in it, for one? But more importantly, as stuff starts to fall out, what does it do to our political space? What does it do to our national, international? What does it do to politics? How do we as a society incorporate that information? Up to this point, we've just pretended like it didn't exist. There's no mystery box there. No, dude, there is. There's a mystery box there. The ODNI added that with that particular report. And the information that's coming out here from the sun, that I'm probably going to do a separate video on, is going into things like human effects. How does dealing with craft affect the human beings that is encountering it? And if you're thinking about that for the moment, these are documents that are released from the Pentagon, 1,500 pages. They got it through the Freedom of Information Act, and it just barely came out today. They have been fighting for 4 years to get the information. They're talking about abductions. They're talking about sci-fi research and technologies. It is apparently an extremely wild document, and I am chomping at the bit to get into it. But didn't mean to do a video, I guess. I actually just kind of came on to play some chess. The Ukraine thing is in the forefront of my mind because that's what we've been talking about the most. And working at Radio Sputnik, there's a societal pressure. But it's very weird. I experience it as excitement in a weird way. Not just excitement. They are wrong in their appraisals. All of them. They're lying. And they're lying en masse with a level of propaganda that I've never seen in my life. Look, it is easy for me to have a conversation with you and just say, oh, you're spewing propaganda, in order to gut your ability to make an argument by just pretending it exists. When the gentleman came onto the show today that was pro-NATO, we had a conversation. At any point that either of us say, you're spewing propaganda, both of us were making, one of our perspectives was going to be more accurate than the other. Mine was far more accurate than his. Now, my point is, those are arguments that can be had, but those arguments are not had the fact that it's the First Amendment and everything else from months. And so, forefront. But let's do this. Let's play some chess. It said it disconnected. Here we are. All right, let's play some chess. Let's play some chess. All right, this is chess.com. Let's play a line. Let's see. Flip it. Oh, by the way, like I said, chess, UFOs. Welcome to Soap Ops. Hey, I'm here at Mount Shasta. We're at the UFO convention. We're skywatching at this point, hoping to see something. Keep your eyes peeled. That thing trips me out every time I see it. I swear to God. That video is the funniest thing ever. Let's play some chess. All right, this is chess.com. I come to chess view. All right, let's do it. All right, let's kick some ass. All right, Rui Lopez. Nope. Fair enough. Now what? All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to develop. All right. And I'm going to stop that bishop from coming over there. I'm going to castle. All right. Of course. Horse is a horse. Of course. Just bolster that, and then we get out the way. Fair enough. Do I care about that? I do care about that. All right, dude. That was pretty fucking clever. That was pretty goddamn clever. All right. Deal. I can't believe you did that. I didn't think he was going to take that. I mean, can you really get away with that? There's no way you can get away with that. All right. Now, what can we get? I'll do a check. All right. I'm going to do a check. Just because I can. Check. Get. All right. Come give me that. You know what's next. You know what's next. Take your time, bro. Where you from? Dominican Republic. All right. Come give me that. Come give me. Yeah, the problem is, I can't do anything about that. All right. Now, what am I down? Am I down anything? Just be a dick. Move. Get. Suppose you can't do that. seconds. Oh shit. God damn it. Motherfucker. 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 Moving too goddamn fast. Moving too goddamn fast. Oh, that's aggravating. Please. Where's that from? Mexico? Italy. All right. Queen's Gambit accepted. Come on. All right. Right. So, if I kick him, what is he? Well, I can't kick him. All right. Let's just support the pawn and get out of dodge. Want no part of that, mister. That's fine. All right. That's a lot of pressure on B7. We got to relieve that. Yeah, that's got him. All right. Whatever you do. Shit. Good move. Move it or lose it, buddy. Move it or lose it. Get. You got a minute 36 seconds. It's all you. 31. 30. Gotta be honest, I don't quite know what to do. I guess it's going to depend on what he does. I know my pieces need to be developed. So let's start there. The B7 is a problem. I need to fix that. Really? Really? You're going to give that up? Well, in the mouth. Just going to say thank you. That's what I'm... Oh, my signal is going in and out. All right. I guess I'm not fine with that, because... Yeah, I guess I'm not fine with that crap. Oh, that moves. I don't like that. The problem was B7. I can't have him taking B7. Aren't you fucking clever? Aren't you clever? All right, two bishops are like ghosts. They can't touch each other. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, let's not do that. Good man. Get your one check in. Oh, you don't want that check. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Oh, this is going to be a problem. This is not good. Damn it. Let's review that. That's not a bad game. It wasn't bad. Let's review. Let's see where things went awry. Okay, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Come on. Come on. Okay, maybe the analysis is better. Come on. Come on. Calculating? What? All right, let's go to analysis. All right, same rules apply. This should give a score. All right. If you're playing white pieces, plus is in your favor, minus is in black's favor. It's a computer's analysis of it. All right, so this is the queen's gambit. Accepted. Fianchetto's is bishop. So far, relatively even. Couldn't figure out exactly what to do with the bishop, but I knew I had to move it. Also, this game is problematic already. The fianchetto bishop on b2 is exerting a massive amount of pressure on b7. Because it's exerting pressure on b7, all right, black has to defend that. That's something that black has to deal with. It's one thing if this pawn was on c6. At that point, it'd be biting on granite. But because it was queen's gambit accepted, that's open. It's not necessarily an issue if you can find a way to defend it. Pulling the bishop to c6 was an idea, but didn't get the time to do it. All right. Again, huge amount of pressure on this. This forces the bishops to stay here. It limits what black can do. Now, I guess the question is here. Because black has an advantage here. I am a sucker for bishops, so I'm going to take that bishop 1,000 times. I'm not. But the more I think about it, it might have been better for the knight just stay here. I mean, this pawn can't come in because of en passant. They're looking at rook to e8, bishop to b6, knight to c3. That's what the computer is thinking. So basically this. The computer is not thinking take the bishop. All right. It still gives black an advantage, even with taking the bishop. e5. All right. e5 is right. Black still has an advantage from the computer standpoint. Whoa, look at that. All right. Now what? Because my thought was, all right, with the bishop here on e4, at the very least, the pressure is off and directed anyway. But then the other was, okay, well, you can take the knight, it's centralized, and you can blockade it. The queen is usually a poor blockader, but at this point, we don't have that many pieces. So the thought was, okay, we could blockade it. Let's see, and blockade. All right, black still keeps an advantage. And I didn't hate this position. Black's advantage is getting more significant. It did not like that move. It really didn't like that move at all. Okay, it didn't like that one either. So I guess my thought was, all right, I didn't want to push f5 because of this. That just, look, a computer would totally do that. Human being would take a little bit to think about that just because it's a latent threat. But maybe it's not wrong. I mean, the question is, how does How do you move that piece? All right, let's see. It didn't like that. The move was not assertive enough. It still wants f5 or a takes b4. Yeah, this is better. Because what ended up being a problem was this pawn gets here, removing this pawn as a defender, which allows the rook to come in. Also, it's nothing defending this pawn, so you might as well just trade it off. The rook is no longer here to exert pressure on the bishop. I mean, look, it's a 3-minute game, right? This stuff is going by fast. So, yeah, like that. The moment that he takes that pawn, this pawn becomes a liability. And if you notice, it shows in the score. Pawn takes was better, which allows that pawn to take an extra step. This. And at that point, I can't stop the pawn. Well played. Very well played. Good job. Well, I can't say that. We both played miserably. He ended up playing less so. Let's get one more in. I played one more. Or I played to the loose. Actually, who's here? Is anybody here? Well, another ouchie. Yeah, that was an ouchie. I know that ouchie. That was another ouchie. Let's kick some ass that I can't leave with 0 wins. My ego just wouldn't allow it. All right. Oh, I hate this opening. Petrov. Okay, this is better. This I don't mind. Dude. Do you honestly believe I would not come after you? Whoa, really? You mean it that much, huh? I don't think you can sustain that. In fact, I'm almost certain you can't. I am almost certain. Let's see. How do I get you? Okay, first and foremost, relieve the pressure on that knight. All right. Bastard. Oh, well, right. There's no pressure on the knight anymore, is it? Let's do that. What you gonna do, bro? Yeah, that's nasty, ain't it? That is nasty. Let's do this. Gonna give me the check. Right. You don't have any checks. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Okay, that's fine. That works. Yep. Yep. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. I'm not going to review that. Just play another one. 2 blunders. All right. 1930. Who fatted in Boston? What? Marie Lopez. Exchange variation. Shh, dang, this fucking variation. Right. So you're gonna be a pain in the ass. That's what you're saying, huh? Yes, I am going to be a massive pain in your ass. All right. Fair enough. As long as we're all on the same page. This. I think I might have fucked up. Yeah, I want no parts of that, mister. I want no parts of that. I want to do this castle. That's what I want to do. I want to get safe. We're only chasing safety. All right. I don't care about that. You want that bishop? That bishop is yours. I got plans and ideas, bro. I want no parts of that either. I want no parts of none of that. In fact, I'm not touching shit on that side. All right. I guess I'm going to have to touch something. But, you know what? You know what? I'm okay with this. You would do something like that, wouldn't you? What? Don't want it. All right, fair enough. I'll move it. Dude, I am not fucking up my pawn structure for you or anybody else. Let's just lock everything up on the queen side. And let's have a conversation with the king side. Let's do that. All right. Okay, let's do that. Keep going. What are you going to sack? Fit to sack something. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. He's like, you're getting too close. It's getting too close. There you go. Good man. All right. Now what? Now what? Pawn takes, bishop takes. Pawn push. And then all the force will be brought to bear on that pawn, but the king is going to go to h1 with the bishop going back. All right, so my thing is, I need to keep you from... All right, I see the problem. I see the problem. This. All right, yeah, I see. This piece that's in the way. Bishop takes, queen takes. No, that doesn't work. Good move. You know what we're here for. Give up the money and the jewelry. Give up the money and the jewelry. There you go. All right. Dude, you're a pain in my ass. I know. This. Dude, you're weaseling your way in there. Okay, you just took something from me. Damn it. I was running out of time. All right. 3-1. I'll accept it. This was actually a pretty decent game up to the point of time constraint. You to drop a line and support the channel. Thanks, man. But yeah, I'm about to pull this up. It's time to get some work done. But let's see. All right, exchange variation. Now, fine with this. Here's the thing. If you have to deal with a pawn march, under normal circumstances, you don't want to fuck up your position. Meaning, you don't want to disturb your pawn position. Now, yes, they're going to use their pawns to try to bash through yours. The last thing you want to do, though, is make weaknesses in your own pawn position as they're coming forward. That's why I basically ignored everything that he did. Basically, was like, yeah, I'm not touching that. I'm leaving that to its own devices. At which point, the king remains safe. All right. Not going to take that. If you take it, the knight comes there. All right. Defend it. So at this point, there's nothing that can get in because the bishop can't get in. He doesn't even have one. And the only thing that has the potential of getting in is the knight, and the knight can't go anywhere. All right. Queen side safe. At this point, it's how do you crack through the king side? And at that point, all of the conversation becomes on the king side. And if you notice, look at the score. It immediately goes to negative. All right. How do you crack this egg? At this point, I'm running out of time, or start to. I'm trying to figure out how to get there. And the thought was, this bishop needs to be out the way. So the thought was, okay, do you sack the bishop? Queen takes, with the idea of rook takes, hoping the queen can get here. But I don't think that works. Or does it? Well, it does. Wait. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is saying bishop takes c5. Because the king can't take this. That's the reason, that's the idea. So what does he do? I mean, there's no check immediately. Rook to h8, rook queen to g2. I mean, this is saying black is leading, but I guess the question is what does white do? They're saying bishop takes c5. They're thinking king take h2. Rook to h8. King is forced to either here or here. The king goes here. f3. Check. Check. Mates. All right. Here's the thing. I saw, let's see, this, and I kept looking at this, but I couldn't work it out in the time frame. Like it splits, so you can't necessarily see all the way through it. My thought was, okay, his queen is going to be centralized. You sack the rook, then what? And I couldn't see a forced mate after sacking the rook, and I kept thinking to myself, there's enough, maybe he has a resource where he can do something. Meaning, I should have went my original thought. The splits, make him prove it. Didn't do that. I did f3. Still, good move, but still, it's weaker. All right, again, still trying the same thing. Rook takes, king, queen. Of course, he defends it. Now, maybe there's something better than that. They're saying queen at g6, basically this. Rook to b1, rook to d2. All right. Rook to h3. Well, that's what I did. Bishop to g6. This. All right, let's see. They're giving black a massive advantage. They're giving black a 6-point advantage. That's more. That's like 2 pieces. All right, so they're basically saying there's a mate in here somewhere. Oh, I see. Queen to g6. Which hits the pawn. Rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, king takes, check. Yeah, that doesn't mate though. What am I missing? I see. All right. So this. All right. What the computer is basically trying to get at is from here, queen to g6 hits the pawn. Something defends the pawn. Queen to h7. After which there's nothing that can defend the pawn. Is that right? This. All right, this is getting weeds. This was way too weedy. All right, let's go back to the game. This. Again, attacking the pawn. I was running out of time at 27 seconds. I couldn't work the shit out. I'm trying to figure out a way to crack that. And at the point where he puts the rook down, there's no way to crack it. Well, for fuck's sake, the computer's still saying it's a win. Again, the computer's saying this is correct. Ah, that's a mistake. All right, the computer's saying this. I guess, but what is the focal point? What's the objective? Oh, I see. Threat being knight takes, pawn takes, rook, checkmate. All right, I see. God, man, you can't. Ah, it sucks. You can't work all that stuff out in 20 seconds. And then it's like the further it gets, the further the clock gets down, it is in your head. It's like, gotta move. And yet you have this complicated issue that you're trying to solve. And believe it or not, it is harder to win a one game in blitz sometimes. What I mean by that is you're playing a position. You know you are winning that position. And because you know you're winning that position, you're trying to work out how to win it. Meaning you can feel it that you're winning the position. You know it. You can see your advantages and everything else from the standpoint of the game board. Winning it is different. Especially in blitz, when you have to work it out. Okay, how do I work that out? If I had 2 minutes, I could sit there and I could say, oh, right, the queen and nothing can get back over there in order to defend the king at the point at which you can sack both pieces in order to checkmate the king. Yeah, in a tournament game, yes, you can do that. In blitz, it's far harder to do. And yet, what you want to do is sit there knowing there's a win here. I know there's a win here. But it's blitz. You don't have the ability to do that. It's just, it's the frustration in the game is actually the thrill of it. Let's do one more game. Fuck it, one more game. And then gotta get some work done. All right. Oh, okay. This goes back to my childhood. Okay. All right. Okay. Don't care about that. Dude, you're about to get trashed. He's about to lose this game. This is not going to go well for you, my friend. I grew up playing this position. Let's see. I don't think I care about that. You know what I'm here for. You knows why I'm here. Nope. Nope. I don't want that. Alright, now what? This. Alright, I need you to move first. And you better not touch that pawn. I told you not to fucking touch that pawn, didn't I? There's two of them, so that's a problem. Okay, what if I just do queen takes, knight takes? Why can't I just do that? Or better yet, why can't I even just do that? Yeah, I could do that. Right? I could do that, right? Come on, give me that. Thanks, bro. Thanks, dog. Go on, give me that too. And I think I'm gonna stop there. Okay, I guess I can't stop there. Oh, we need to get you out of there. Know that much. Okay. Fuck it. Can't take it that way. Okay. There are difficulties. There are indeed difficulties. There's problems. And I'm not quite sure how to solve those. Fuck me. This. I know. Shit. Just lock everything down. Oh, damn. This mouse slip. Ooh, that was fuck up. Yeah, remember time. All right. Good game, Chelsea. Good game. All right, guys. I'm going to call this a day, and it's time to do some news. Knight is guarding escape. Yeah. Why did Jamarl sacrifice his queen? I don't think I was trying to sacrifice the queen. Let me see. Let's play it out. All right. Let's go into analysis. I was running into keep running into time difficulties. All right, let's see. All right, I usually in a tournament, this guy loses, 1,000%. In a blitz, less so. The reason has to do with his king side. He's already castle. Black hasn't committed one way or the other. He has a pawn on h3, which is allowed to hook into the position, which is why his position kind of went to shit immediately in the beginning of the game. That said, it ended up in a horrible mid-game or in-game for me after winning a piece. All right. Rook comes behind it. That's what I mean. It's just ready-made attack. All right. That is not good. That's a horrible move. They're saying queen to d7, bishop takes f3, knight to queen to f6. Basically, come bring the queen here. Either way, I did that. And then they are basically saying bishop takes f2, c6, bishop takes f3. I did c6. Knight takes g2, bishop takes f3, queen x5. So this was the other one I was looking at. This. My thought was if king takes... But I was looking, I was like, well, if bishop takes... Oh, right. I can't take back. King has to take back, which loses the bishop. Okay, yeah. That would have been better. All right, this... All right, and this is a horrible in-game position. Piece up, horrible position. And to be fair, I didn't quite look at all of this through. This is better. That would have been far better. Far, far better. I mean, either way he loses a piece. The question is, what position is he in after he loses a piece? King takes, bishop. And that bishop is still lost. That would have been far, far better. But, like I said, haven't played chess in a while. And my objective this year is to push my rating back to 2000 in tournament play. I just like playing Blitz. Blitz is just fun. All right, guys, I'm going to say like. I'm going to say share. I'm going to say subscribe. Sorry, stupid phone. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. John Will. Oh, thanks, John Will. I didn't do it on purpose. Hey, party people. Baby Ghost. What's up, Baby Ghost? All right, guys. I'm going to close it. Like, share, subscribe, and let's go do some news. Talk to you in a few.